Welcome everyone to the ISB podcast. I'm your host Sahil. A very special day. I'll tell you why in a second, but we are covering the second round of matches for groups B and C. And today we're coming to you live from the Euros, live from Frankfurt, Germany. Bick and Rahi are at the match, so we'll go to them in a second. But first off, we want to cover the first match of the day, which was Slovenia and Serbia. And it was actually a fascinating match. So Slovenia took the lead through Karnicnik, who actually played a fantastic match. And this was about to be Slovenia's first ever victory at the Euros. And they were going to get through basically to the round of 16. And Serbia nicked a goal on the very, very last play of the match, a corner kick, header in, past Jan Oblak, and 1-1, which gives both teams a chance into the last match of last match. So here's the thing. I've traveled to Slovenia, so there was a soft spot for Slovenia in this match. And, Jan Oblak played fantastic. And I thought Slovenia actually played a better match than Serbia throughout the match. And I thought they were deserved winners. But sometimes what happens in football is if you tune off on that very last play of the match, whether it's a corner or not, there was some debate about that, but you have to mark. You're just one play away from getting through, and it's so difficult for Slovenian fans out there. It's been a difficult week for Slovenia, I think, as a whole. One of the legends of Slovenian basketball, of course, not winning the championship, but speaking strictly in football, they've actually played two pretty good matches overall, but have come away with 2 points, which you might think, okay, that's great. But this Slovenian team was actually very close to getting out of the group stage into the next round, which makes this result so unfortunate because now they have to go play England in the last match. I think Benjamin Sesko has been very close to a few fantastic plays for Slovenia. And after Slovenia got the goal, it never really looked like Serbia was going to get the equalizer. I always felt that they were very comfortable. So in the very last play of the match, to allow a goal like that off a corner kick, it really felt that Slovenia was hard done. But credit to Serbia, because I thought Serbia, in the last maybe 5 or so minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, really pushed for that equalizer. Didn't seem like it was going to come in, and they get the goal to put it in, and it's all square. So, now Serbia has a great chance in the last match against Denmark. Slovenia is going to have to come up with a very strong performance against England. So it's to all you Slovenians out there, maybe it'll happen in the last match against England, which of course would be the most historic match in the history of Slovenian football if it does. But best of luck out there. Okay, so now getting to the match that we will talk about in a second. But of course, that's the Denmark-England game. I just want to put my thoughts on the match here, where I think everyone watching this match can agree that this was a day that Denmark outplayed England. But for full coverage of the match, I want to go straight to Frankfurt now to our team, Bick and Rahi, who are out there, bring you everything from the Denmark-England match. Let's go.
Minutes from kickoff, here we are. Big feeling good, I believe. You like the lineup? Here we go. It's coming home, boys. It's coming home.
All right, boys, what are your reactions to the match?
I think England started well, and then they just gave away the advantage. I mean, Denmark looked a lot better after England's goal, and that's typical Southgate, isn't it? I mean, look, it's typical Southgate, isn't it? You take a 1-0 lead, and then you sit back, and then Denmark, I thought, dominated most of the game. after England scored the first goal. And I think that's the biggest frustration with England is that. It's like you take the lead and then you just sit back.
Denmark fans really got into the game after the goal, and it felt like England never got back in the game. And honestly, in the last 10 minutes, it felt like England was surviving. I mean, the energy was all with the Denmark fans, all with the Denmark team. Really impressive performance from Denmark. And you have to say for England, another failing to fire on all cylinders. I have to say, I mean, it was not impressive. Yeah, the point isn't bad, but it's not a good performance once again.
I don't feel confident as an England fan going into hopefully going into the knockout stage. I think they will go into knockout stages, but I just don't feel confident. And I'm not really sure whether Southgate's the man to take the team forward. I think he's done a good job so far. But England just look very static. You've got some of the best players in the world, and you just sit on the ball. You've got Bellingham, you've got Foden, you've got Saka. Like, these are players that any other team would die for. And then they're just like, they look okay for England. Like, it's not great. It's really not.
The sirens are in the background, but that's because there are real sirens, I think, for England, real alarm bells ringing. Because you have to say, after this game, we talked to a lot of Danish fans, and they were the ones who were more happy, very happy with the performance, very happy with the way the team fought back after the goal. And you have to say, in the end, there was really only one team in it, and it was Denmark. And that is a surprise, it's a shock, and it's also a wake-up call for England.
Boring England. That's the issue.
What did you guys think about the subs that Southgate made?
Ultimately, the subs that Southgate makes really didn't make a difference, and that's the thing. He brought on players you think would change the game. Gallagher, right, Watkins, Eze. But in the end, you're left asking the question, where is Grealish, right? Players that are tried and true, and in the end, the new guys didn't really make a difference. And that is a real... It's unfortunate because there are players at home that maybe could really make the difference, that they're not here with England.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't blame the subs. I don't even blame making the substitutions. Like, the team should be performing at a better level. There's clearly something that's off. And you wonder whether it's the pressure or whether it's Southgate's management. Fact is, England have not really looked that good on the Southgate throughout, even when they made the semis and finals. They look okay. And they are significantly better in terms of the personnel than a lot of the teams that they play. They just end up, relying on their quality. But it's not like a strategy or tactical thing that England is doing better. So,
yeah, ultimately you have to say, I mean, it's not a good performance. It's still early days, right? And they will likely get out of this group. They're still good enough to get out of the group on points. On 4 points now, it's still enough. But the question is, when are they going to fire? You saw Germany fire. You saw Spain fire. When is England going to fire on all cylinders?
You'll never bring it home. We won it in 92, and we'll win it again. We dominated this match, and they're just lucky to get it 1-1.
So Rahi and Bick have returned to their hotel room after a day at the Euros. Boys, I mean, I'm sure the atmosphere is fantastic. We saw your live reaction. That was perhaps a little beverage induced. We won't talk about that. But now that you're all back at your lovely Frankfurt hotel room, let's just finish up on the thoughts for this match.
Yeah, I mean, look, England started well, and then they scored a goal, and then they sat back. And this is the story of England for like ages. The story of England in the last match, story of England in the last Euros. It consistently keeps on happening. It's such a good team, so many good players, and then they're so static. Look, I had a great time. I'm not going to lie. One of the best days of my life. Loved it. Lots of singing, lots of beverages thrown. Had a great day. I can't complain, but again, maybe I can complain a bit from Southgate's boys. They could have done better.
Not a good day for Gareth Southgate, right?
Yeah.
Not a good day for the subs that he brought in. He was big on a lot of these players, right? He's big on Bowen coming in, on Watkins coming in, and Eze, and they didn't really make a difference when they came on. In fact, right? He took off Saka, he took off Kane, and Foden, and these are big name players, right? He left Grealish at home, and the subs he brought in didn't make a difference. And fundamentally, England failed to fire against a team they really should be better than. And Denmark, for the most part, were the better team in the second half. We were sitting around many Danish fans. There were a lot of British fans in the stands. a lot of Danish fans as well. By the way, the Danish fans arrived earlier because they're more punctual. But there were a lot of Danish fans and they were very happy with the performance because ultimately in the second half, they were the team that were more dominant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look, I can't disagree with that. And I feel like overall they probably had the better day, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
Højbjerg looked like Luka Modric out there, basically.
Højbjerg looked fantastic.
Yeah.
And I thought Mela on the wing was an excellent player, number 5, and really played well. For me, he was the man of the match for them. I know Højbjerg. I mean, there were performances across the board for Denmark. Even Yusuf Poulsen, when he came on, I thought was a big difference maker as well. Højlund had some moments. So all across the board, Denmark performed really well. And they really troubled that England midfield. And by the way, Southgate in his press conference said, we've had troubles with this midfield for the past 7-8 years trying to find solutions. It was a bit of like an excuse-making press conference for Southgate.
Yeah.
A bit of him, padding the way for maybe I can't win this tournament because the midfield I have.
You ask yourself this question: if this was if the same midfielders were playing for Italy or Spain or Germany, they'd probably be doing a lot better. There's something that goes wrong when you put on the England shirt.
I mean, Declan Rice today, you guys, what kind of match was that?
Oh, he had a terrible giveaway
was
late.
invisible.
Wasn't good.
Yeah.
Trent was okay, but also brought off early. To be honest, Conor Gallagher came in and was a drop-off. I thought he wasn't
I
any
didn't
better.
watch, yeah.
And in fact, he was worse.
Yeah. It was aside from Saka, maybe the whole team was like should get Fs, right, Vic?
I mean,
yeah, 100%. Look, I think the one positive I'll take is England have played 2 matches. They haven't played well and they've got 4 points.
yeah, fair.
So that's the only positive I'll take. And like I'm hoping they'll somehow get through I think they'll definitely get through the group stage. They'll somehow get through the rest of the tournament. And one day they'll turn up. But it hasn't happened so far.
And big players, right? Who's the giveaway for the goal? It's Harry Kane. It's the man himself gives the ball away in a terrible position that leads to the goal for Denmark.
I felt bad for Jude Bellingham, man. Like he's playing with like some of the best players in the world, and he comes over here and like you saw him, like he was really annoyed, like with some of the service that he was getting. Like he was like offside in a couple of cases, put his hands up, it's like what's going on? I'm used to way better than this, and you feel bad for him as well. But it's like at some point they've just got to suck it up and like they've got to perform, man.
Yeah, they're gonna have to step it up, and they'll actually need a result in the last
100%.
probably some level of performance to make it through. Okay, so let's close the book. Fantastic day.
I loved it. It was listen. It was these are the days that like you live for as a football fan. I don't care about the result. I mean, I do care about the result, but like at the end of the day, I had a great time. I had a few beers. It was a lot of fun. Danish fans singing in English.
We're not encouraging or discouraging alcohol on this show, but let's finish it off with the final match of the day. I'm sure you guys saw this at some fan zone in Frankfurt or something like that.
A regular pub.
Pub, Frankfurt pub. But all right, boys. There's a team that is looking very good at the Euros.
Spain's looking very good.
Very, very good. And this game was 1-0. It could have been 3, could have been 4. Nico Williams, time and time again, down the wing was dangerous, hit the post. On the other wing, you had the kid himself, dangerous as well. This Spanish team was slick. They were controlled. They had possession all day, but they also created dangerous opportunities. And if it wasn't for Donnarumma, this game could have been out of the world. I mean, it could have been the same as the Croatia result, right?
Yeah.
So fundamentally now they've taken 2 teams who are decent teams, Croatia and Italy, and they've dominated them thoroughly. This is a Spanish team that has to be feared. And you look at teams like Germany has done well, Spain has done well. These are teams you have to say are emerged as favorites. We thought they were favorites before, but they've cemented their place. They've said, look, we are serious. And Spain may be the best of the bunch, to be honest.
Yeah, you know what I liked about this match is it was a return for Spain to being Spain, dominate the possession. Like that was the thing. Like against Croatia, it didn't look like Spain. This looked like Spain. They always had the ball. Almost 60% of the possession. That's what we're used to seeing from Spain. Great off the ball running. Some fantastic playing by Yamal and Nico Williams, and then Pedri and Rodri just bossed the midfield. Right? It was a complete performance.
It was complete. And the thing is, it's not just possession for possession's sake. It was possession that led to dangerous opportunities, right? The Italians were left to defend deep, and basically try and fend off opportunity after opportunity because it wasn't as if the Spanish were doing. Sometimes they have possession, doesn't lead to anything. This was dangerous possession across the board. It was survive for the Italians, and they barely did, right? One goal was very fortunate for the Italians.
Yeah.
And the thing is, in the last match, Spain were very direct as well.
Yeah.
So it then was a matter of saying, look, we can play directly or we can play possession-based football. We can do both. And
Yeah.
that's a very dangerous proposition for any team playing against them.
And it's impressive they weren't confused because their coach and the
Yeah.
Italian coach look almost exactly alike. So it's surprising they didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't. They knew who'd take instructions from. I mean, they're both bald, both stylish, both wearing blazers. The difference is the Italian coach has the Italy on the back of his blazer, but it was
Yeah.
shocking. I mean, I've never seen two managers look so similar during a game.
Yeah, so it all sets up for a very interesting last match. Of course, the Croatians will take on Italy for a chance at the next phase.
Really interesting game. It'll be
Very
really
interesting game, and if
Yeah.
if Italy struggled with with Spain, Croatia plays a similar style, not as strong, but very
Yeah.
similar in terms of to Spain. So I think that should make for an exciting match. All right, boys. Yeah. It's been an exciting time for you guys, I'm sure, from
Yeah, it's a great
at the
time.
Euros. And I'll leave it to you all just to take the show away. For those enjoying these videos, please subscribe to the channel. We'll of course be back tomorrow with some more exciting matches from the next groups. But leave it to you, boys. Say whatever you want in the last couple seconds.
The song of the day has been Phil Foden's on fire. But Phil Foden hasn't been on fire. I'm not sure what's going on. That's what they've been singing all day. Phil Foden's on fire. And we're waiting for the moment when he actually turns it up, right? But the English fans clearly believe Phil Foden, hopefully he shows up sometime this tournament.